All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Episode 137 of the School of S.H.R.E.D. This is the show that's designed to help you make better your new. Welcome back, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Monday, S.H.R.E.D. Nation. We are back. We're here to talk about health and fitness. Everybody had a good week last week. We had Christmas. We had Christmas Eve. We had Christmas Eve, we had post-Christmas. And there might have been some food partaken in over the weekend. And we're going to go over some stuff today to give you tips on how to live a healthier lifestyle. And out. As you jump on here, throw me a flex emoji in the comments. Throw some snow comments too. We're almost at the end of December here as we shoot this thing live. And we want some more snow than we've gotten. We are in the Seattle area where I'm at right now, and a little bit more snow would be good, please. We like snow. I almost fell and broke my hip this morning on my morning walk here at 7 a.m. It was nice and dark out, and the roads were very sticky, very icy. We got that black ice everywhere, and I had to walk around everywhere like I was about 80 years old, as to not fall down. So it is icy. It's just not snowy. So let's talk about some things today. The show's here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We already know that. Monday through Friday. We're back this week. We did 3 episodes last week. We're on episode 137 today. If you want to learn more about School of S.H.R.E.D Online Health Academy, which you should definitely join, and there's going to be a lot of new resolutions out there. That's great. That's terrific. Whenever you decide to get into it, that's terrific. If you decide to do it with my programs, my coaching, go to theschoolofshred.com or johnreedfitness.com, JNRED fitness.com. Same website. You can find out more there, how you can join my online program, become part of the online school where you get weekly assignments. You're part of a community. We do live classes. Also adding a program that's a little bit more expensive, but you can get a once a week Zoom private session. So I'll instruct you through your workout, just you and I. So that's also an option for the people who want that. So go to theschoolofshred.com and you can learn more about that. So let's just say this is your first episode of the School of S.H.R.E.D podcast here, the School of S.H.R.E.D show. We'll just say, now, I'm sure it's not. We're just going to go ahead and say that, maybe it is. Right? This is your first show. And you haven't gotten all the free information, all the tips that I've given out over the last 137 episodes. All the hours and hours of content, you haven't done that. Specifically around the holidays, you haven't got all my fat loss tips, all the energy boosting tips, all the health anti-inflammatory tips. And somehow you managed to gain some holiday weight. Yeah. I know it can happen. To be perfectly honest, I eat a little bit more during the holidays as well. I'm a normal human being. One of the things I always tell my clients is that we want to be 2 to 4 weeks from our tip-top shape at all times. Our joke was 2 weeks out, always 2 weeks out. I believe in that. I believe that is a good place to live. It's also, you can't go around being overly lean all the time or dieting all the time. There's going to be times you need to kick back. We talk about this quite a bit, where we have our balance sessions, right? Sometimes for 2 months you might be you're doing a lot of exercise, maybe you're working out quite a bit, then you need to have kind of a balancing mesocycle, we could call it, where you take maybe a month and you're eating more and nourishing your body, you're sleeping more. And so kind of have a year that kind of goes up and down. It's just, you don't want to be gaining 10 to 15 pounds throughout the year, or the 7 is kind of the average. Or that weight gain every year, where they say, it's 5 pounds a year that people gain during the holidays, and it turns into 7, then it turns into 10, and then it turns into 15. Like we've talked about before, a huge percentage of Americans have diabetes or are pre-diabetic. And the reason I bring that number up is because Obesity and diabetes are closely related. We could call them diabesity. Dr. Jason Fung is one of my favorite authors. He's a doctor up in Toronto. He talks about this a lot. But you know, this when you have an insulin problem, it causes diabetes. That also causes weight gain when we're not taking care of our insulin. So anyway, we won't go there, but it is perfectly fine to gain a couple pounds and not be as in shape as you usually are on the holidays. That's fine. So if that happens, how are we going to shred that holiday weight? That's what we're going to talk about today. So if you have, you know, missed the memo and you ate, you drank, and you're married over the last week, good for you. I'm happy for you. I think you absolutely should be enjoying your family, enjoying food and drink and all that. So it's more about the people you're spending time with. But we're tribal people, and tribal full bellies and warm bellies from maybe their favorite beverage and hang out with their family during these times. So it's totally fine. So I want to give you some tips on what I do personally if I have veered too far down the fun path. Now, I think living a healthy lifestyle is very fun, but you know, if I'm eating like crap and or I would say eating too much. I try not to eat like crap anymore, but I eat too much or drink too much or whatever. I'm not as tight on things. I want to kind of give you guys a 4-prong system of how I try to you know, reduce weight gain back into optimal function. You can use this. I also, you know, help my clients with this, depending on who they are, what their goal is, and what their history is. But I'm just going to break this down. This is what I like to do. So if you want to try it out, go for it. If you don't want to, that's fine too. These are just ideas here, people. So the first thing is to help shred holiday weight gain. Fast after holiday. So if I feel like I've eaten extra, you know, so for me, I eat extra chocolates. This year we made a conceded effort to have any vegetable oils. So there was no, so people think this was in there, those toxic vegetable oils. We didn't have those. Any of our products, chocolate, and drink things like that. So, you know, fasting is great coming out of this when you've kind of been in a calorie surplus, maybe a little bit more than you'd like to be. Maybe you're just at a point where you're finally realizing, like, look, I need to lose weight. All right, I need to lose some weight. I need to get rid of some of this fluff. It's been a long year. It's been a long year. 2020 has felt like about 12 years a slave kind of thing, right? You know what I'm saying? So maybe you're ready to just move on. So fasting does is the first thing I do. Fasting strips water, it strips inflammation. It's so a lot of times when we're over consuming, we're overeating, we're over drinking, we're starting to create inflammation in the body, and we're getting a lot of water retention because of that. When we fast, growth hormone goes up, and that helps strip water weight. Okay, so we get rid of that water weight, we get rid of that inflammation, and then we that inflammation, you got to get rid of that water weight. So the next thing that fasting does is it helps drop insulin, like I talked about before. When insulin goes down, hormone sensitive lipase activity goes up. We can get our body back into fat burn mode. All right, so it's when you're fasting, you're stripping water weight. When you get rid of that inflammation and that water weight, then we can get into that fat burn mode and start to break apart that fatty tissue and use it for energy, and that's how we can get leaner. So to speak. And then the other thing that fasting does for me personally when I'm doing this, you know, I fast coming out of the holidays or when I've been eating too much and I'm starting to feel like a sloth, is it shifts my mindset, right? So my mindset, you know, around the holidays is usually more consumption, sleep, you know, rest, recovery, and, you know, mindset into being more blessed, eat a lot, drinking a lot. Maybe eating very frequently. You usually don't do that. Maybe you're not working out as much. You know, you're busy doing other things. When you're fasting, for me, what it does is it shifts my mindset away from this consumption and the food industry and world, because we have all this advertising dollars behind all the fast food and things like that. You know, we're a bit obsessed with food because food is great. Food can taste really good, but there's also a lot of money made off certain types of food. So we get inundated with these advertisements. And so this fasting thing shift the perception and shift the paradigm to you don't need as much. And it starts to cleanse the mindset I believe, for me, towards not going to the kitchen constantly and actually worrying about other things. So that's what fasting does for me. And so that's a great way to kickstart your holiday weight gain. That's the first place that I start. So if I get extra water retention, inflammation, water, weight, fat, whatever it is I want to get rid of, I'm going to start off my plan with a good fast. Now that's going to be, for me, at least a 16-8 method where I'm fasting for 16 hours and I'll eat on 20 to 24-hour fast daily. When I'm doing a little fasting, I have not been doing that recently. And then what I like to do is a 48 to 72-hour fast to really kickstart things. If you have any health issues, obviously you need to talk to your doctor before you start embarking on that stuff. Get a second opinion. But I personally believe in the power of fasting myself, and I subject myself to it quite a bit, and my health has never felt better from doing it. So longer fast is a great way for me to kind of kickstart things and get things back on track. But there's nothing wrong with just getting into intermittent fasting, which is that 16 hours without eating, 8 hours a day, and you can do that every day if you want, or you can do it a couple times a week if you're brand new to fasting. It's always better to start slow. The second thing that I like to do for shredding holiday weight gain is increase water intake. So when I'm drinking more water, this can increase the healthy side of diuresis. So diuresis could be not a good thing, like if you're diabetic and you're urinating a lot. But what happens when you drink enough water and you start to get that fluid balanced out in your body, you might start, urinating quite a bit, but you're going to be flushing a lot of extra sodium retention that you might have. And that can help decrease your blood pressure and start to just kind of make sure that your muscles are hydrated, that your body is hydrated, and that it can do its thing. It can do all of its processes that it needs. It also gives you energy. Water does. It encourages that fluid balance. And the way that it encourages fluid balance is through proper sweating, and urinating that way. So if you've ever noticed, if you don't drink enough water, so therefore when you exercise, you might get really red and hot and flushed, and you're not stripping water weight out. Okay, so that's a really, really big one, is drink enough water so you sweat during your exercise, overheat. All right, so when you drink enough water, sweating during exercise is really important. Got to drink enough water to do that, though. So when you drink enough water, 15 fluid ounces 15 milliliters per pound of body weight. Convert that to whatever you want, to liters, into fluid ounces. I just anywhere 100 fluid ounces to 120 fluid ounces a gallon. That's a good place to start for most people. Unless you have any other reason that you shouldn't do that, any medications and such. But anyway, this whole fluid balance is very important. And then water is the world's first energy drink, right? So pretty much energy, vitality, and it also provides a bit of appetite suppression, and that can help you when you're coming out of the holidays and you're trying to lose some weight and maybe you're hungry. You might notice, what I always notice is the more that I eat, the more my body wants food. Right? You could be gaining weight and be hungry. You could be gaining body fat and be getting more metabolically unhealthy, but still be getting hungrier, right? What's going on is say, hey, feed me. You've been feeding me every day at 10 a.m. I need food. Feed me. All right. So you got to kind of override that. Water can help with that. All right. Because it keeps a full belly. So number 3 on shredding holiday weight gain is high fat, low carb diet. So I'm a low carb guy, low carb, no carb guy. Sometimes I do carbohydrates, some, and I do sweet potatoes. I do Ezekiel toast and bread and stuff like that. But specifically when I want to try and lose weight, this is one thing you might want to entertain. And some people know it drives some people crazy because they're on team carbs, other carbs, ways. But when you're trying to drop inflammation, water weight, carbohydrate, yes, carbohydrates help pull glycogen into the muscle. But when you're top off, when your glycogen is topped off, which is, for those of you who don't know what muscle glycogen is, this is always the really wordy debate out there, is that carbohydrates pull about 2.7 grams of water into the muscle with them. Okay, and so carbohydrates are basically an energy storage site. That's what glycogen is, and it's a mixture of water and carbohydrates that store inside your muscle. You have two places that you store them. You store glycogen in your liver, all right, for quick energy. You store glycogen in your muscles, all right. But then when you're topped off there, right, when you take a dry sponge and you wet the sponge to a point where it can't absorb any more water, being carbs, right, your liver and your muscles can't absorb any more of that, then it starts to just spill over into fatty tissue, all right, and you gain weight. So if you've gained holiday weight, right, you could do a modified carb diet and count your calories if you want to. This way, I think, is just a little bit easier, okay? It's a little bit easier. It's a little more straightforward, and it's a little less time demanding, you know, if you're not counting your calories or you have any other reason you shouldn't, like maybe you feel like you may be neurotic and whatnot. That's a huge thing I get from a lot of people. It's like they can't work food because so we have to figure out ways around reality. Enough people to know what a lot of people are thinking and what they're doing and healthy. And their food is not, it doesn't work for everybody. And there's a big factor of people that are pretty intimidated by it and they don't want to do it. That's great. You could do that too. But a high fat, low carb diet can help you get rid of some of this inflammation, okay? And it kind of couples with this fasting idea that I'm talking about. So carbs are not the devil, right? If you want a response of losing weight and dropping inflammation, maybe don't eat something that's going to pull water into the body more, okay? You're going to be well hydrated because we just went on water. You certainly have a low carb diet and be hydrated, right? You don't have to have carbohydrates to be hydrated. So, on to this, you know, when we have higher fats, we're going to be getting our energy from fats. That's the idea here, right? That's why we're bringing carbs down. We don't want to just be overloading ourselves with carbs and fat. That's not a good idea. And so when we have higher fats and keep us satiated, that helps stabilize and control our appetite. Water, we can add them back in later, right? After we lose some of the weight that we want to. But we want to stabilize hunger when we lose inflammation and water weight, when we want to shred off some of this weight gain that we might have got during the holidays. Okay, this is good to do it. You know, your nutrition should move in cycles. I've talked about this before. You know, certain times of the year maybe you have more carbs. Certain times of the year maybe you have more fat. Certain times of the year you have cold food. You have more vegetables in summer, not as much in the winter. You know, you want to cycle things. You know, we want to cycle things because of gut health and the gut microbiome, right? But anyway, in the high fat, low carb, unlock that fat burn just like the fasting. So if we have fasting where we throw some fasting in, then we increase our water intake. Then maybe when we do eat, we're doing more of a high fat, lower carb diet to try and strip off some of this water. That can help start to strip off this weight gain. And then this is the workout, right? We've talked a lot about nutrition here on this episode so far. Workout consistently. I wouldn't say overwork out. Don't punish yourself because you overate during the holidays. That is not a good relationship to have with exercise. I strongly encourage you to not do that. If you overate, you might have a signal that if leptin is working correctly, your brain is going to tell you need to move more. You might just feel motivated to get up and go for a run or for a walk or work out, you know, a couple extra times in a week. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to override natural motivation, because it's funny, this natural motivation that we talk about oftentimes comes when we're in an overfed state, because we have more energy in our we have a hormone influencing us to move more, to try and homeostasis. Okay, so like if you eat too little, your body will tell you to exercise, right? You'll find lack of motivation might be the dominant thought process. When you overeat, what's supposed to happen, right, is you're going to be encouraged to move more. Your body don't want to move more. You might want to go, like I've talked about before, do projects around the house or go exercise more. You might feel this thought process of I'm now chemical reaction, which is really cool, because it's your body's trying to get you to burn off a little bit more, you know, because you ate more. So that's that homeostasis the body's looking for. So when you're working out and you want to do some fasting, you're going to drink more water, you're going to do maybe a high fat, low carb diet. Don't kill yourself with working out. Don't force yourself to work out extra. If you naturally want to, that's great. That's fine. All right. But try to keep a normal schedule. Keep a normal schedule and just be consistent. Being consistent is the most important thing. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Get your workouts right. So you can move. Needs to be moved. The muscles take care of joints. So we need strong muscles, right? We want strong muscles. We want to stay, keep our bone mineral density up. System, it improves cardiovascular function, yada yada yada. You know how important exercise is. Okay, I can't stress it enough. Exercise is super important, but the key is to not punish yourself, okay, and have a negative relationship with exercise because you decided to overeat with family and you had a good time, right? You want this to be a healthy approach. So with all of this stuff, don't punish yourself by not eating for a day or 2 days because you overate. That's called a food disorder. That's disordered eating. You need to talk to a counselor about that. That's not something that a nutrition coach should be helping you with, okay? When you're going to fast, you want to do it because there's a responsibility that comes with it, because you know it's healthier for you. Maybe you do want to clean up some of this inflammation, but you're doing it out of self-love, not self-hate. You're not upset with yourself. You're not punishing yourself. Don't do any of this stuff. Yourself. Get that out of your head right now, okay? Because if you're trying to get healthy, that is antagonistic to health, is that mindset of, oh, I overate, so now I got to punish myself with this, okay? That is not a long-term approach, and so it's not something that I'm going to condone or promote. So don't take any of these tips out. Very important that everything that we do comes out of that we want to be healthier, we want a healthier mindset, healthy spiritual relationship with ourselves, and we just want to get our body healthy, okay, as an objective. So keep that workout consistent. You can add more steps, more cardio during the week if you want to, or even a week. Set a timer on your phone and do 20 push-ups every hour on the hour, or every time you go to the bathroom, do 20 squats, 50 squats. Just a little bit of extra activity, get you back on the fat burn and back on your goals and back on your fitness. And again, nothing feels better than when you're on top of your fitness. Out there, nothing feels better. If you're listening to this, you've probably had the motivation before, where you did the activity, motivation, you have the energy, you feel good, you feel positive in mind, body, spirit. Everything feels good, the body's working better. There's nothing like being on your fitness plan. Let's get back on it before the first of the year is right around the corner. We're going to close out 2020. It's only a week away, or wait, no, it's only like 3 days away or 4 days away. It's going to happen this week. However, it might just feel like another month because 2020, folks. But anyway, as we close this chapter, go ahead and jump on it now. Get on it, Let's get back on the fat burn bandwagon, the energy producing bandwagon. Go produce more inside of our lives, inside of our relationships, finances. Okay? So that is it today, church. So we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and soon. So you go look up the School Shred, do a review, help the show grow organically. Tell me on the flex emoji in the comments if you guys are with me. I want everybody who looks at these episodes later to see all of the souls listening in the comment section. So that weight gain, increase your water intake, eat high fat, low carb, help strip inflammation, and then also work consistently, not too much. All right, get healthy. All right, stay in healthy body, stay relentless, energized, and spirit. Stay determined in your pursuits every day. Still shred, now go shred the day and get better in every day. It's almost like an album that I'm putting out here. Until next time, class is dismissed. Have a good Monday, everybody.